A good evening and welcome to Guyana's Tv9 News Bulletin for September 9th, 2025. I am Faith Stanley. In the headlines tonight, VP and PM reappointment signifies powerful fusion of strength and unity, says President Hilfernali. AFC down but not out for the count, says Cathy Hughes. PPPC's dedication to Amerindian development lauded. President Ali to meet with Suriname's President soon on Quarantine River Bridge project. CJ squashes magistrate dismissal of fraud charges, and Nepal's parliament is set on fire after PM resigns. Now for the news in depth. Guyana and Suriname are pushing ahead with plans for the Quarantine River Bridge, a project set to reshape cross-border connectivity in the region. High-level talks between the two governments are expected soon. President Ali recently divulged that as early as this weekend, he could be meeting with Suriname's President, Dr. Jennifer Simmons, to advance talks on the construction of the Quarantine River Bridge. President Dr. Hilfernali has reaffirmed Guyana's commitment to the Quarantine River Bridge, providing an update on ongoing discussions with partners and relevant ministries regarding the landmark project. In a recent interview, he emphasized that while financing and planning are still being finalized, Guyana remains ready to move forward once all agreements are in place. President Ali confirmed that discussions are ongoing with Suriname's President Dr. Jennifer Simmons and representatives from China regarding the project. These meetings are focused on finalizing the financing mechanism and coordinating with relevant ministries to ensure the smooth progression of the bridge's construction. A face-to-face meeting with President Simmons is expected soon to clarify priorities and confirm commitments.
So we had some discussions with the Surinamese minister on all of the ongoing program, including the bridge, the issue with our fisher folk. And I think very early, maybe over this weekend, there will be a face-to-face meeting with the president of Suriname. So we have not had any changes in the commitment. Even today, we have not had a response that this is not a priority.
The bridge is planned to connect Molson Creek in Guyana with South Drain in Suriname, spanning approximately 3.1 kilometers over the Quarantine River. Designed as a high-span structure, it will allow uninterrupted maritime traffic while providing a critical land link between the two countries. Construction is expected to last around 3 years with an expected lifespan of 100 years. The project also includes the development of Long Island into a commercial and tourist hub, featuring hotels, recreational parks, entertainment venues, and farmers markets. The integrated development is expected to boost local economies and create jobs for communities on both sides of the border. The Quarantine River Bridge has long been viewed as a cornerstone for strengthening regional trade, tourism, and connectivity between Guyana and Suriname. Guyana has already allocated US $23 million in its 2025 fiscal year budget for the project, which carries an overall estimated cost of US $236 million. However, the project's advancement depends on finalizing financing arrangements with Suriname and partner countries. Once secure, the bridge is expected to spur cross-border commerce, create jobs, and drive long-term economic growth for both nations. Financing discussions between Suriname and Guyana and international partners remain in progress, with both governments reaffirming their commitment to the project. Once finalized, a groundbreaking ceremony will signal the official start of construction. Beyond serving a physical link, the Quarantine River Bridge is poised to unlock new opportunities in trade, tourism, and regional integration, cementing its role as a transformative development for both nations. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News. In a recent meeting, President Dr. Hilfernali received an update on the Gas to Energy GTE project from Winston Brassington, head of the GTE task force. During the meeting, the president was informed about the progress of Phase 1, which includes the construction of a 300 MW combined cycle plant as NGL facilities. The first gas turbine foundation is scheduled to be poured on Tuesday night, September 9th. Currently, over 300 people are employed on the project, with plans to hire an additional 100 staff within the next 30 days. The remaining turbine foundations are also expected to be completed within the same time frame. Vice President Dr. Barajagio and Prime Minister Brigadier retired Mark Phillips have been named as the first new cabinet appointments by Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. Following the official swearing-in ceremony, President Ali commended both men for their years of service dedicated to Guyana. Colin Abrams reports.
Just a day after President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali was administered the oath of office to become Ghana's ninth executive president, he reappointed Vice President Dr. Barrett Jagdeo and Prime Minister Brigadier retired Mark Phillips to serve once more in those roles respectively. The swearing-in was held Monday afternoon at the office of the President, Shiv Chandrapal Drive, Georgetown. President Ali, during remarks, expressed that these appointments represent the first to be made to his cabinet and to public office.
These appointments are evidence of placing the reins of our nation's development in the most capable hands, hands that have been tried, tested, and proven in the annals of public service.
President Ali, in his address, said the two together represent a powerful fusion of strength. They represent a unity of purpose and diversity of skills that will support the government and the rest of the cabinet. He added that the Prime Minister has stood as a pillar of strength and competence during his first term in office, and it is with that confidence he is reappointed.
He handled his expansive portfolio not just with efficiency, but with a masterful command that instilled confidence across the government and throughout the nation.
Meanwhile, speaking on the contributions of the Vice President, Dr. Barrett Jagdeo, President Ali said he's a visionary and spent a lifetime devoted to Ghana's development.
His story is one of unparalleled achievement. As a former Minister of Finance, he stored our economy with a keen and brilliant mind. As President of this Republic for 12 remarkable years, he set the stage for the prosperity we are now realizing. In my first term, I came to rely on his expert and wise counsel as my Vice President. His grasp for complex issues, his foresight in policy making, and his profound understanding of both local dynamics and global economics are nothing short of extraordinary.
President Ali is set to appoint the rest of his cabinet in the coming days. Colin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
Acting Chief Justice Navinder Singh has overturned a ruling by Magistrate Delon Bess, who would dismiss 3 criminal cases against convicted fraudster Dave Rajeshwar Prasad. The Chief Justice found the magistrate acted outside his jurisdiction when he dismissed the matters while sitting in a different magisterial district. The Special Organized Crime Unit, SOPU, which brought the case, argued that its prosecutors were misled about the adjourned date and were not given a fair chance to be heard. Chief Justice agreed, ruling that the magistrate acted improperly and breached principles of natural justice. As a result, the dismissals have been quashed and the fraud charges against Prasad remain active. SOPU's head deputy, Commissioner Frazil Karimbas, said the ruling underscores that magistrates must act within the law and that justice must be seen to be done for both accused persons and victims. Prime Minister Brigadier retired Mark Phillips has announced that Guyana's indigenous people stands poised to benefit even more from sale of carbon credits under the Low Carbon Development Strategy (LCDS).
Speaking at the cultural extravaganza event on Monday evening, Prime Minister Brigadier retired Mark Phillips announced a groundbreaking commitment to Guyana's indigenous communities, cementing their role as the central figures in the nation's climate change efforts. He pledged that the indigenous people will receive no less than 15% on all revenues from the sale of carbon credits, recognizing their generations-long stewardship of the environment.
You, our indigenous brothers and sisters, can be assured that going forward, you'll receive no less than 15% of all carbon credit revenues, a commitment that ensures your communities are directly invested in and rewarded for your unparalleled contribution.
The Prime Minister also highlighted that a cornerstone of this vision is the right to land.
We recognize that the land is not just a resource, it is life, it is history, and it is identity. Therefore, our government pledges to further advance the Amerindian land titling and demarcation program. We have done more than any other government before us in this regard, and we will continue this process over the next 5 years. Land titling and demarcation is both a legal and moral imperative.
Phillips affirmed that the government would continue this process over the next 5 years, aiming to resolve pending claims and provide communities with secure land tenure. Securing the land is one thing; it must be protected and governed by laws that are fit for purpose, he added, signaling a broader strategy to empower indigenous communities with the legal and financial tools to protect their ancestral lands and way of life. The Low Carbon Development Strategy is a national framework to build a sustainable, low-carbon economy by leveraging its extensive forest ecosystems as climate service to attract investment and generate revenues. The Amerindian Heritage Cultural Extravaganza, held Monday evening at the National Park, featured vibrant cultural performances, traditional foods, and heritage wear. The event was part of Heritage Month 2025, which is being celebrated under the theme Igniting Unity, Celebrating Progress, Advancing Our Future. Adana Dorgan, TV9 News.
We now take a quick break for tonight's editorial perspective with Melanie Alicap Moritz.
Good night, Guyana. In a recent interview, President Irfan Ali stopped a reporter mid-question after the journalist breasting only by his name without his title. The president cut in firmly, and I quote, "President Irfan Ali, get it right, have some respect," unquote. That moment sparked debate, but it also carries an important lesson. This was never just about a title. It was about the office of the president, the highest in the land, and the dignity that comes with it. If we strip that away casually, we can not just the president, but the country itself. The president went further, saying the reporter is part of a narrative of mischief in the country. So this wasn't just a passing outburst, it was a pushback from the president against what he saw as a pattern of misleading coverage that fuels division. Well, reactions followed. The Guyana Press Association cautioned that such remarks could intimidate journalists and harm press freedom. On the other hand, the Department of Public Information defended the president, stressing that respect for the office is not arrogance, but a reasonable expectation in public life. Yes, the press has a duty to probe, but with that responsibility comes an obligation to be fair, to be accurate, and not drift into distortion. Accountability must cut both ways. Leaders should answer tough questions, but journalists must also practice integrity. The takeaway is that respect and truth must go hand in hand. The presidency deserves recognition, not because of who holds the office, but because of what it represents. On the other hand, journalism deserves trust, but it is practiced with honesty and balance. One exchange, one headline, but the bigger story is about us. Guyana's democracy grows stronger when respect, truth, and accountability are not rivals but partners. That is the lesson that we should carry forward. My name is Melanie Alicap Morris, and that's my perspective for tonight. Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. After nearly 2 decades of being actively involved in politics, the Alliance for Change AFC is no longer part of the National Assembly following the 2025 general and regional elections. In an exclusive interview with Guyana Tv9 News, AFC executive member Kathy Hughes said while the party may be down, it is definitely not outperformed. Here is this report from Colwyn Abrams.
After actively being part of the geopolitical landscape of Ghana for close to 20 years, the Alliance for Change has now found itself out of the National Assembly, following the recently concluded general and regional elections in which they failed to earn a seat. As one of 6 parties in this year's elections, the AFC was only able to amass a mere 3,610 votes, standing alone, representing a 0.83% of the electorate. not even qualifying them for a single seat in the National Assembly. Speaking exclusively with Guyana TV9 News, Kathy Hughes, executive member of the AFC, admitted that these elections were very difficult for the party.
But over those 20 years, I think that politics in Guyana has changed. The way we treat each other, the way we treat politics, the way we engage has changed drastically. And I think 2025 was really just a symptom and a coming together of all those changes that have taken place, not only in Guyana in politics, but internationally.
Hughes echoed sentiments expressed by Vice President Dr. Bar Jagdeo, acknowledging that the rise in the We Invest in Nationhood party significantly impacted the support base of the opposition parties. She also admitted that the party's inability to find consensus with the Partnership for National Unity was a major contributor to both parties' poor performance in these elections.
And it's clear that APNU and the PNC, who've been around for the last, since independence, and APNU is no longer the main opposition party, and they have lost so many seats, just really shows the disruptive nature of this year's campaign. And I think we both have lost. It is unfortunate that we were not able to form that coalition. We knew on the ground that that's what people wanted. And I think that maybe if we had been more successful with that, we might have been able to pull it all together. However, the scale at which Win was able to take votes, mainly from the main opposition party, the formerly main opposition party, APNU, and also from ourselves.
When asked whether the party can ever rebound and reconnect with its support base, Hughes said the AFC will focus on expanding its reach by leveraging trusted networks and strategies that have served them well in the past. On whether or not the party will be contesting the next elections, Hughes had this to say.
I think it's way too soon to prescribe whether we would be contesting the next election. No, but we do have upcoming. Our structure has a National Executive Committee, our NEC, which is our main management committee, and our NEC will meet within the next week to have our review and introspection. And I don't see the AFC running off into the darkness and putting a blanket over itself. We have much to celebrate in terms of the achievements and the contributions we have made to politics in Guyana since 2005. And we are grateful that we had the opportunity to serve.
Colin Abrams, Guyana TV9 News.
Police are investigating the fatal shooting of 48-year-old Gavin Major, who was killed last Thursday night in East Rumville, Georgetown. The suspect, 30-year-old Nebin Ersley, who was known to Major, is currently being sought out by authorities. According to Major's cousin, Marlon Hines, the incident occurred around 11:50 p.m. while they were driving past Ersley's house after hearing what sounded like gunshots and seeing Ersley standing outside. Major stopped and reversed his car to confront him, and an argument followed, during which Ersley allegedly shot Major twice before fleeing. Major was taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital, but died from gunshot wounds to his lower abdomen and left hand. 2 9mm spent shells were recovered at the scene. Investigations are ongoing. Minister of Amerindian Affairs Pauline Sukai has lauded President Ali's vision and dedication to Amerindian communities. Speaking at the launch of the Amerindian Village on Monday evening, Sukai emphasized the People's Progressive Party Civic (PPC) administration's long-standing commitment to protecting indigenous rights and fostering inclusive development. More from Anami Dork.
So as we gather here to commemorate Amerindian Heritage Month 2025, we are reminded of the profound cultural contributions that our indigenous peoples have made and continue to make to this beautiful nation, which we all call home. The knowledge, traditions, languages, and artistic expression of the Amerindian peoples are not merely important remnants of our past. They are vibrant and dynamic threads, intricately woven into the fabric of our national identity.
That was Minister of Amerindian Affairs Pauline Sukai speaking at the cultural extravaganza at the National Park, Tarmac, on Monday evening. The minister pointed to the record of investment in Amerindian communities under President Ali's leadership, pointing to investment in education, healthcare, infrastructure, and digital connectivity.
Evidence of the transitioning landscape of the hinterland was achieved through a solid partnership between the PPP civic government and the Amerindians. The engagements and dialogue of the Amerindian leaders with the executive is testimony to the partnership and social compact which realized real results and benefit for every Amerindian village.
She also called for unity in preserving cultural identity.
It is fundamental that we continue to promote our culture, our heritage, to ensure that we revive our language, we keep our cuisine, etc. So let us work hand in hand to ensure that our stories, languages, and vibrant traditions of our people continue to be celebrated, respected, and cherished in the heart of this society.
As Sukai concluded, she invited everyone to embrace the ongoing celebrations of Amerindian Heritage Month. Let us celebrate this occasion with joy, respect, and a renewed sense of purpose, she said, as we honor the incredible contributions of the Amerindian community. Throughout the month, a wide variety of activities are planned to celebrate and honor Guyana's Amerindian community. These include a reflection on the life and works of Stephen Campbell, the first Amerindian Member of Parliament, various sporting and family day events, and an art exhibition and indigenous fashion showcase. A highlight of the festivities is the Amerindian village at Sophia, which is open from today. Visitors are invited to immerse themselves in indigenous culture, exploring a wide array of authentic clothing, food, and craft. The village will also be the venue for a vibrant cultural night, which kicks off this evening, promising an unforgettable experience of traditional music, dance, and storytelling. Adana Dorek, Ghana TV9 News.
Anti-corruption protests escalated in Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, today as government buildings were set ablaze. The unrest was sparked by a social media ban, which is now being reversed by the government. It has now grown into a wider anti-corruption movement that took to the streets on Monday. In total, at least 22 people have been killed in the process and dozens more injured. As protests raged, Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli resigned from his post. Nepal's army says it is committed to taking control of the situation, but what happens next and who will replace Ali is still unclear. And that's all for tonight's news bulletin. I am Faith Sandy on behalf of the Diana TV9 News team. Thanks for watching.